Good afternoon. I'm very happy for the opportunity the organizer are giving me to present the Kenedi Trilogy, that is a film video work, which is of course in all papers written as something what I made, directed and done alone. But to say the truth, and you will see the results of that work, it could not be done without actually very tight cooperation and friendship with few dozens of Roma people and family who actually have given me the facts of the struggle they are passing through, especially in the situation when they, as refugees, have left former Yugoslavia, mostly because the men, the fathers, wanted to escape the war, went and have been received in Western countries as the refugees. And then after 10, sometimes 15 years, in the beginning of 2000s, the families and personalities who have not have permanent residence in Western Europe, although they have been working, they have had the children born in the countries where they have been staying, the children have started being actually pupils in the schools. They have been submitted to the process of expelling, which is in German language called Abschiebung process, and the whole life of theirs, and especially the life of children, was very much disrupted. So that is the first fact I came to about the whole future project we started when in the city where I live, that is in northern Serbia, Novi Sad, some friends asked me, do I have any contact with German-speaking teachers or maybe some voluntaries who would organize a continuation of schooling of the hundreds of kids who came recently in that process of expelling. And I was surprised, as I and my friends did not see anything in the media what was going on, and we thought in the first moment that it must have been some Balkan families whose actually someone of those families had committed some crime, and that was the reason for this expelling. So I went to meet the people, and as I understand German and can communicate, I learned first fact that the most of those expelled families are Roma families, as they are actually completely they have been without any connections and possibilities for some sort of legal defense. And when I say the legal defense, of course, in all European laws is very directly proclaimed that you cannot deprive the children of schooling in the language they possess the best until they finish the school. So in all cases, what we have seen is that actually those children have been exposed to and the families to violation of that law. And the first very surprising fact which I have learned is that actually all our prejudice about Roma as the ethnic group who is not very much willing to go to school and who is difficult to somehow follow the learning process, those prejudices are completely falling apart when in few days of communication I met dozens and dozens of children who are speaking perfect, of course mostly German, as the Germany has taken the most refugees, but also some other European language, and who are also very excellent in using new medias and computers, who are having hundreds and hundreds of the friends they are cut off, and they are really desperately trying to continue communication. So I understood that actually all our somehow minorizing all those abilities and creativity is only our running away from the fact that the Roma communities and families are living in such a desperate social situation that out of that fact the results in schools are poor, and as being a part of the refugee families, the families had to be very much cautious to have the children in the school, and in that situation, of course, the children have shown very good result. So my first reaction was, let us try to make some sort of solidarity actually presentation to show in 2000 in our country, after this Milošević dictatorship, to this so-called new democratic governing group, that they should somehow give opportunity to all those children who are now completely somehow formed in this very ideal type of European citizen who are speaking foreign languages, who have a good communication and friends in Western Europe. Let us try somehow make them aware that they should somehow help the children and family to continue the normal life. And first reaction, what we actually found, is completely ignoring that fact, and even not watching the whole situation with the open eyes. The authorities and the various ministers told me completely false number of those expelled people, although we have heard on the airport that there's hundreds and hundreds and thousands who are coming back home, and they are very much completely without any possibility to continue normal life, because most of the families, these poor housing, what they had lost during the time being refugees, and lost also the contact for any getting jobs. So my first reaction of me and my friends was to make some sort of simple documentation about this new young Roma generation who is completely left desperate and very much feeling that actually the life is ruined. So I will show you some minutes of our material, which is actually not the beginning of the final structure of the film, but those minutes you will now see as is the beginning of filming the whole project.
Ja, meine Freundin noch, Zorzi. Ich liebe dich, Schatz. Du weißt, ich bin noch treu für dich. Ich bleib auch treu für dich. Wenn du für mich treu bleibst, dann bleibe ich. Guck, mein Herz. Der ist nur für dich da. Und ich komme ja wieder da. Wenn du bis dahin treu bist,
Ich liebe dich, jemand.
dann gucken wir noch zusammen noch was. Ein Leben.
Begrüß deine Freunde.
Ich grüße mal alle bei meiner Schule. Am meisten Joanna und seine Familie. Und ich will gerne bei Deutschland wieder gehen, da ist sehr schön. Und die Deutschen sind alle nett und so alles. Und ich grüße alle da in Deutschland. Und ich grüße meine Klasse, meine Schule, meine Lehrerin und meine Freundin da von Deutschland. Und da, wo ich aufgewachsen bin. Das Leben war schön da in Deutschland. Und hier ist es eigentlich, naja, schwer und kalt. Wir sind hier ganz viele Familien in einem Haus hier. Dieses Haus da. Ja, ich habe sehr schwierig mit der Sprache, weil ich 10 Jahre da bin in Deutschland. Bin jetzt hierher gekommen, kann die Sprache nicht.
Aber Roma, kannst du Roma?
Na, ein bisschen kann ich Roma.
Und Serbisch?
Nein,
Überhaupt?
nein.
Nemaju odakle da počnu za život. Ništa, mnogo su bili dobri u školu i volili su da uče i sve. I redovno su išli u školu sve. Nijedan nisu zaostavili jedan dan. Ama to nije ništa pomoglo.
Oni nisu ni znali šta je Jugoslavija. Ali eto, mi smo došli tako i počinjemo sve od nule, sve iz početka. Škola neće da ih prima, ne priznaju njihove razrede. Treba im njihove svedočanstvo, gde su završili, kad su završili. Onda treba se plaćaju, treba ovo, dažbine, sve to, ali teško nama. Mislim, Romima pogotovo, mogu da kažem. A i vi to svi znate sam kakav život ovde. Oni su porasli tamo, sad traže taj život, a mi u Jugoslaviji nemamo. Znači, nema ni fabrike ne radu, ni gde se zaposliš, nigde. Jedino da kratiš to. To nam ostaje ovde. Što bi za sad bilo to. A oni mnogo hoće, prave i to je to. Ali za sad borimo se za život. Po ceo dan radiš na pijaci ili na nešto za 100 dinara. To je samo za život. A kamo sad kad idu u školu, kad će da počnu, treba. Mnogo knjiga, mnogo sveske, mnogo para, odeća. To nemaju za sad.
After showing this material, of course much longer, about the situation in which those youngsters just drag out of the school are now in, of course we did not get any real support by anybody, but there was something what was very positive, and that was the reaction of the media. So the first time in media, also on television and in the press, this material have showed that actually the Roma are presented different than what you would normally see, because they really have shown some as I said, new, I would say, human quality and possibilities. And of course, for the families and people who have been expelled, that was also the moment when they have felt that they are actually somehow not cursed as the criminals who have been sent back home, but they are simply a part of this European politics. Making those debates, of course, I was inviting the people from media from Western Europe and from the embassy, and surprisingly, I got a call from some representatives of German Green Party. There was a lady whose name was Claudia Roth, and she was in that time German Secretary for Human Rights. It was called Staatssekretärin für Menschenrechte. That is maybe not a ministry, but yes, some high official. And she was in the same time president of the party. Of course, that was in those years when Joschka Fischer was the foreign minister. So she said, we in Green Party, we also think that it is very unrational what we are doing in Europe, as we need a lot of fresh labor, and now we are expelling some of the tens of thousands of people who already passed through the German schools. So they came to check the situation, and when they learned how the position of the people on stage is desperate, they asked me to prepare a longer material and to show it on one tour in the cities where Green Party was having some influence as minority party in the government. So it was in region of North Rhine-Westphalia, Berlin and Saxony. So that was the moment when we decided to make like a longer piece and more structured. And of course, for me, the most interesting moment was how to film the very moment of coming all those families in these special planes, which is actually when they are collected by the police. And as of course our airport did not let us in, I was then trying to find some Roma guy who would be going on the airport together with our crew, so we will pretend that we are filming him waiting for his family, and he would be someone who would be doing interviews. So in that moment, just having seen a lot and talking to a lot of people, I came to this main character whose name is Kenedi Hasani, because he spoke both Roma and Albanian and German and Serbian language, and he was completely free to run with us for this documentary filming, as his family is a Roma family from Kosovo, so they spent some time in Western Europe, I mean not some time, more than 15 years, and they could not come back to Kosovo. That is what he told me, so he was completely free. And the whole mystery of this title of the films, like Kenedi Trilogy, first is Kennedy's coming back home, second is Kenedi Lost and Found, and third is Kennedy's getting married. The whole mystery of that name, which sounds funny, is actually, lays in the real fact that the father has given to 3 sons foreign names, Kennedy, Johnson and Nixon, as a first name, thinking that that will help them to find the way in Western Europe. So when Kennedy was embraced in our project, then we actually made a structure which has also, besides pure documentary material, also some fictional material. And that was on this tour in Germany quite successful. So what is very rare for documentary film, that sometimes it can also move just a bit in reality. So in some cities in North Rhine-Westphalia, in Hessen and in Berlin, the actually not the laws, but some decisions of the mayors have been changed, and they have been making a sort of contest for the good pupils, and decision to give them a scholarship to continue the school. Of course, that was not the scale in the whole country, but that was a certain effort where I have met quite a few organizations who have practiced solidarity. And interesting is that also the film was showed in German parliament, and then afterwards put it in, some of representatives brought it to European Parliament, so there was a lot of debate, and on one of debate which, on something which is called Asylpolitische Forum Deutschland, where actually are coming the people who are making decisions about refugee politics. I was also asked to come, and then I learned something about all this, what we call cruelty and unhuman behavior. I was listening, Minister for Interior, in that time that was in Germany, a lawyer whose name was Schily, and he was explaining, okay, of course we know that it is not rational for the sake of our economy, because of course the refugee, not only that they don't cost much, but everything what we support them, they spend at home. But we have to do this very harsh and brutal expelling, and we are doing it. Why? Because there is a great contradiction in economy as such, in European economy. On one side, of course, the parliament completely is dependent on the voters, and the voters are having a fear of the foreigners and the people who are taking the jobs, although everybody who is planning economy knows that those jobs done by Roma and these poor refugees would never be taken by some citizen in that country. So I remember listening him that he said that is on one side, and on another side is a great pressure of industry for the cheap labor, and partly also actually the labor and the workers who are illegal, because only with that pressure European economy can cope with these new emerging countries. So I was present when I have seen very calmly debating this situation, which on the end is so brutally targeting some of most vulnerable groups. But through the fact that now we start having completely, I would say, maybe first time in the history in last 2 decades, a new Roma generation which is well educated, which not well educated, but which at least start getting some education and start being a sort of conscious about their rights and identity. We have the fact that a lot of youngsters do not now perceive all those difficulties and social struggles they are in only as a curse from the fact that they are Roma. They simply understand that they are a part of the poor in society, and they actually, when they speak about violating of their rights, they do not only have these ethnic sentiments, but they also have some very rational arguments. So as the next part of the first film, Kenedi is Getting Married, I would like to put you a piece which we filmed in a moment when one high police official came in Belgrade to have a lecture about the new European borders, and I brought to him one of my heroes to talk to him, and you will see how he actually somehow took out of that policeman even the confession that actually they are aware that they are violating the human rights. That sequence is edited parallel with one family which is coming back to a village of the parents just from the airport. It's about 5 minutes clip.
Teraz çidi. Ne kadar mi buraya onu dikkat mu çıkıyor çıkıyor. Aha. Kaya ipuranim. Hemen. Aha.
Aquela Maria Unukia, aquela olha esse daí.
Aha.
Ya.
Kuraylı. Kana spoju sardem tu men.
O sa sto alla tihe hiljadine sa sto mislineja. Išala pala ni Nemačka tirine.
Preslama ko aerodrom čađas.
Celo vreme sa onan džemena čađame na torbite vuci nam bešuka.
Kar düklemle mi sarı bir çabalansa. Uşak silivove naile. Osaka cam çabalansa.
Neke se babuši.
O çoğu no hayradun soyarata çoğu.
Ja.
A çoğu ano hayradun pa si bakeme gađelio. O taksi ovdje koja? Dušo trans, dušo pinna marka, to taksi mi mordo.
Buznije? Če mi parni buznije tjedite? A, nam ke buzni. Sa bale me kao laki kasetače buzni penala di parni jarci.
Ja, okay. Hallo. Wo warst du, in welcher Stadt?
Ich war in Krefeld.
In Krefeld,
ja. Ich war da in Krefeld, 12 Jahre lang war ich da.
Und geboren bist du aber?
Hier.
Hier geboren.
Ich war 3 oder 4, glaube ich, wo ich dahin gegangen sind dann mit der ganzen Familie.
Ja, mit der Familie.
Und dann waren wir ganz normal als Asylbewerber da angemeldet.
Ja.
Und nach 12 Jahren haben die uns abgeschoben.
Sad nam momentalno oduzeli što smo imali u stanu negdje oko 850 evra. Ja sam imao onih 15 evra kod sebe u džepu, od čerke mi uzeli novčanik, ona što je imala svojih 5-6 evra na aerodromu u Baden-Badenu. Novčanici, hendi, telefone, sve oduzeto.
Treba da se gasi unutra kad uđeš.
Ma sve je oduzeto.
Ne daje to,
Ne da. Čerci telefon, ja posao tiško jedna policajka bila dobro, onako žena, tišao ja kod njih izvadio papir, rekao daj vidi, molim te, rekao sredi mi bar da ne, rekao tih 15 evra kako ću od Beograda, rekao do Kostolca ima još 100 nešto kilometara, rekao kako ću. I on otišlo tamo s onim, taj što je bio kao vodič puta, što ja znam, popričala sa njim, ono ovo, i vidim vrati čerci tih 5 evra i meni vrati onih 14 evra, 15 koliko sam ja. I to kad smo uzeli, kažem ženi, dobro je. I ušli smo u avionu, dali nam da jedemo, ono ovo sve, donali. I sad jedan dečko, onaj crni iz Novog Sada bio, onaj mali nabijeni što bio. A bili su njih jedno 5-6 što su direktno iz zatvora apšivu imali.
5 su bili.
I šta ja znam, dobili valjda u zatvoru što su dobili taj koverat, malo para imali, ono ovo. Čim posle onog ručka što nam dali u avionu, uzeli oni flašu viskija, ljudi se rade što su izašli na slobodu. Joj, Nemačko psuju, ono, ovo, gledam, rekao, šta je... Pa vidio sam onaj iz Novog Pazara, uzeo visko, ovako pola flaše i izašao gdje prljagno dole, počeo da peva.
Leleka su njega zvali, a mene su ostavili tu sa decom. Rekao, gotov, sad i on u zatvor, ja ostala sama tu. Ali eto, dao Bog, opet smo zajedno, pa će da bude sve.
Wie lange ist der Asylantrag gelaufen? Wann ist der Asylantrag abgelehnt worden? Das Asylverfahren kann ja manchmal über viele Jahre dauern.
Ja, wie das jetzt abgelehnt wurde oder so, das weiß ich leider nicht. Aber ich weiß nur, dass wir müssen ja immer zur Verlängerung gehen. Verstehen Sie mich?
Ja, ja, ja.
Dann sind wir da hingegangen und die haben uns zuletzt, glaube ich, 1 Monat gegeben, Verlängerung. Und dann meinten die, ja, in einem Monat geben wir uns...
Das war eine Duldung, da stand
genau,
Duldung.
Genau,
ne?
genau,
eine
das
Duldung,
war das, ja.
Ja, eine Duldung.
Dann waren wir 1 Monat da. Also Stempel haben die uns gegeben, 1 Monat.
Ja, ja.
Und dann eines Morgens sind sie gekommen und haben uns von Schlaf geweckt. Wissen Sie, was ich meine? Haben sie uns geholt. Ja, ihr müsst heute nach Hause, dies und das. Ja, und ich hatte natürlich Angst. Ich wusste erstens nicht, wie das Leben hier ist und so. Dann haben die uns geholt. Und dann ich bin jetzt seit einer Woche, glaube ich, hier, ja. Und ich bin da zur Schule gegangen und alles. Und ich habe hier keine Zukunft einfach. Und mein größter Wunsch, ich weiß, vielleicht können Sie mir nicht helfen, aber wenigstens, dass Sie mir zuhören.
Das ist selbstverständlich, ja. Das ist ja das Mindeste, was man machen kann.
Mein größter Wunsch ist es eigentlich, wieder nach Deutschland zurückzukehren, weil da sind Freunde, die Zukunft, überhaupt alles.
Da sind Sie aufgewachsen.
Genau.
Das verstehe ich schon.
Pa eto, radili smo po restoranima.
Ja sam radio u diskoteku.
Ja, on je radio u diskoteku, davao piće, ja sam bila u restoranu, u kuhinju sam radila, prala sam sudove i salate sam spremila.
Posle toga sam radio u
fabriku. U početku. Posle kasnije, kad smo se selili u drugi grad, on je radio u fabriku gde se radu tablete, lekovi.
Bigunde neko, sad je altana.
A ja sam u prodavnici radila ko ovde, ko robna kuća, kaštat. Ja sam tu radila. Dobar mi je bio posao tamo, super.
Ona je radila u kaštatu, to je kao kaštat, to je kao robna kuća kod nas. Beograđan. I još veće od Beograđanke, na 4-5 spratova, Onog slučaja kad se razbije nešto, ima pozove, imala ona i svoj pips, ona i svoj broj. Pozovu je imala broj 900, koji je 909 beš? 909. 909. Pozove je imala svoj telefon, ide, pita gde treba, očisti to. Taktika. Danas smo trebali na posao. Sad kad počnu telefoni, samo oni me možda već i zovu, samo što ne znam što sam u Jugoslaviji prvo forvala, onaj pozivni 00381 za Jugoslaviju.
Das sind viele solche Schicksale, das kommt eigentlich tagtäglich vor. Nicht?
Ja, aber die denken nicht an die Menschen, die da schon fast mehr wie die Hälfte ihres Lebens gelebt haben.
Genau, das ist immer das Problem. Man muss immer unterscheiden zwischen einem rechtlichen Problem, das da steht auf Papier, Papier ist geduldig, aber es ist steht immer dahinter ein menschliches Problem. Nicht?
Ja, das weiß ich. Okay, aber ich meine, so wie ich mich kenne und wie ich meine Familie kenne, hat man nie überhaupt Stress mit irgendwas. Wir waren ganz friedliche Bürger, aber das hat wahrscheinlich da keinen interessiert. Die haben uns einfach geholt und weggegangen. Egal jetzt, wie meine Zukunft hier aussieht, das interessiert die wahrscheinlich nicht. Aber für mich ist das erstens, ich kann die Sprache nicht. Zweitens, ich kann nicht mal schreiben, lesen, ich kann noch nicht mal A und B sagen. Ja. Und da bin ich 9 Jahre lang zur Schule gegangen. Ich meine, ich war nicht der beste Schüler, aber Hauptsache 9 Jahre.
Ja sam se nadao da će imati problema, da će imati intervju kad budem došao u Beograd,
The only thing which I understand is at least some sort of optimism we can see in the whole story is that Roma people are used on actually very difficult life and struggle, and they are so mobile that after 2 years when the film was finished, I was having a projection on university in Vienna, and I got a telephone call. One of the characters in the film, Kenedi, he said, Zelimir, I don't know if I told you that I illegally crossed the border again, and then I am staying in Vienna, and I have seen the poster for our film, so I will come for the premiere in Vienna. So he came, and you will see him. He was completely dressed up in the fashion of Austrians, and even start speaking that accent. But he was again quite disturbed. I asked him why. He said, well, the police again caught me, and I made some sort of arrangement with them. I will voluntarily voluntarily go back home, and they will give me a few hundred German marks or euros. I don't know what money. It was euros in that time, and I will then see what I will do if some next opportunity occurs. So I will now show you a few minutes of Kenedi Hasani in Vienna.
Immer traurig, immer habe ich gedacht, jetzt kommt die Polizei mich abholen, immer 2 Jahre immer mit der Angst zu bleiben, immer kommen die Papiere, irgendwas von Bundesregierung und so, dann kommt er von Anwalt und so, von Caritas Anwalt, dann manchmal mit Angst, über 2 Jahre so, immer mit Angst, jemand klopft in die Tür und so, ich denke Polizei kommen, irgendwas, und heute Morgen habe ich geklopft und so. Ich gedacht, jetzt vor diese 2 Jahre alles mit Angst, schon habe ich gesagt, irgendwas passiert und so. Und habe ich gedacht, jetzt ich habe keine Chance. Und habe gesagt, 3. Antrag, und der hat mir keine Asyl gegeben, immer Asylkarte, überhaupt nichts. Ich war im Flüchtlingsreise dort. Dann habe ich 3 Monate verpasst in die Straße, Februar hier in die Schnee.
Wenn du sagst, auf die Straße, wo hast du geschlafen?
Westbahnhof, Südbahnhof.
Auf Bahnhof?
Ja, auch, wo sind die Obdachlosen, wo sind die Penner, wo saufen, wo Junkie sind.
Was hast du gegessen?
Immer 9:30, ganz Tag nicht essen, immer Abendessen, 9:30. Das ist eine Suppe und ein Stück Brot.
Aber hast du auch die gute Zeit gehabt? Ich meine, so irgendwelche Freunde?
Erst habe ich Freunde gehabt, im Mai habe ich nur 2, 3 im Mai. Und dann Ende Februar, wo ich bin gekommen, kalt, Schnee, gar keine kenne ich in Österreich, keine Familie in Österreich. Dann komme ich nicht klar in Österreich, und dann Westbahnhof, Südbahnhof. Einmal in den Monat im Westbahnhof unter 5 Euro duschen.
Aber warum warst du nicht mit deinem Bruder? Da konnten nicht die Brüder irgendwelche Bestätigung geben?
Weil ich war damals Asyl in Deutschland, der 3. Asyl. Das muss weniger 1 Jahr maximal laufen, und dann habe ich wieder Einspruch in Asyl. Wenn ich jetzt wieder fahre nach Deutschland und habe keinen Einspruch in Asyl. Wenn ich jetzt nach 1 Jahr und 2 Monate, und dann habe ich wieder Einspruch in Asyl zu beantragen.
Du warst jetzt in vielen Ländern von Europa. Und wo ist am besten und wo ist am schlechtesten?
Am schlechtesten ist nur Österreich, Holland ist gut, Schweden ist gut.
So of course we are just showing small inserts of the films, and the whole piece, as you can see on one of those screens. Kenedi came again in his place. Of course, in meantime, I went with him on Kosovo, thinking, not being quite sure that he is telling me truth, that he's told me that they built the house in Kosovska Mitrovica. So I wanted, first of all, to help him to come to his house if it is truth, and second, to see actually did he trick me. So we went in that place, which was under actually international peacekeepers who have been in charge of the city, and they showed me the street where his house used to be. It was completely destroyed in the war, and the city was divided in an Albanian and in a Serbian part. And they told me, a Canadian guy, officer said, look, we cannot let him go as he is a Roma, so he will have difficulties with Albanians, and we showed him the identity fact that Kenedi was not present for 17 years, and he said, I know, but you know, that is this type of compromises we have to do, so it's better that he just goes out and continue his life as refugee. 1 year passed, and the man again came to me asking to help him and the family in building the house. They said, look, now it's not only me who is expelled from Germany, but the whole family in that process of expelling, and we have to settle finally near Novi Sad and build a house. We don't have enough money, so can you give us about 2,000 euros? And I asked them and the family to film the process of making house. But I ask them also, how do they come to the money? What do they do? How do they earn? So they explain me that actually they are doing some helping in constructing work. And then Kenedi came with some information which struck me completely. He said, look, I'm also giving sexual services. I said, to whom, how? He said, to men and women. So I was really surprised, because for me, I thought it is a taboo topic in authoritarian and conservative families, that he openly confessed that he is gay or bisexual. So I said, well, I would like to check. He gave me some telephone numbers of the people he's having contact with. And I said, look, why shouldn't we try to, if it is so, to find a bridegroom for you in Germany or in Holland, where the laws allow people to marry, and that would be the way how you will come to the passport. And he said, okay, I don't mind if you find someone who wants officially to get married. To me, I agree, so I contacted some of my friends, and one man from Berlin came. He's a gay activist, and he saw the film, said, okay, I will get married. But when we went to Kenedi's place, we found him with a girl. So this German friend was very angry, and he said, well, he's just very false. But as we already have started filming a part of the story of building houses and so on, I said to Kenedi, okay, if we are going to continue the whole thing, as you anyhow did not have anything against to debate your bisexuality, I will call some actor to come and act with you. So now you will see Kenedi acting in one film. In this last film, Kenedi is getting married, and for his acting, he got on the National Film Festival the main award as the best actor in Serbia.
Hast du Freundschaft?
Was meinst du?
Zu heiraten, zu mich helfen.
Ob ich Freunde habe? Freunde, die...
Ja, wir reden, du hast gesagt, kein Problem, ich kann finden einen Freund.
Ja klar, ich meine, natürlich habe ich Freunde. Ich hab gute Freunde, die gerne heiraten würden. Also Männer, die gerne Männer heiraten würden, aber halt niemanden haben. Ja, klar.
Und kannst du so dem anrufen, reden mit dem, die Situation, wie liegt dann? Da muss,
deine Situation? Oder?
Nein, seine, da muss Ledigbescheinigung aus, wo man noch nicht verheiratet, der Geburtsurkunde, wo ich geboren, das Papier muss alles haben hier.
Ich kann dir nicht ganz folgen. Worum geht's dir?
Wo ich geboren zum Beispiel.
Ja, na klar, deine Papiere, davon redest du.
Ja, ich habe meine Papiere fertig bereitet. Da muss bereiten sein Papiere, wo ich da geboren, ledig, da war noch nicht verheiratet.
Sprichst du von Ehe?
Ja.
Also du möchtest eine Ehe mit einem Freund von mir?
Ja.
Zum Beispiel? Ja. So einfach ist es nicht.
Und wie?
Du musst es ernst meinen.
Oder musst du ihn ficken?
Ja, auch. Hast du dich schon jemals in einen Mann verliebt?
Ja, in Deutschland.
Ja. Du warst in einen Mann verliebt?
Nicht ganz, aber...
Was heißt nicht ganz?
50-50.
Nee, in der Liebe gibt's nicht 50-50, ganz oder gar nicht.
Der war reich, ich war arm.
Und das 50 war, er war reich.
Ja.
Und das ist nicht
der
genug.
hat gefahren, die Porsche Carrera.
Ja, aber das ist nicht genug. Wenn du jemanden heiratest, wenn du einen von meinen Freunden heiratest, dann musst du mehr geben als...
Ja, ich gebe dem jeden Tag.
Ja, es geht nicht nur um Sex.
In Lieben.
Nee, wenn du ernsthaft heiraten möchtest,
ja.
wenn du einen Mann heiraten möchtest, oder eine Frau, ganz egal, dann heißt das einfach, du musst tatsächlich für diesen Menschen Zärtlichkeit empfinden, Liebe empfinden, mit diesen Menschen sein möchten. Das funktioniert nicht.
Hör mal zu. Ich gebe kein Problem. Ich werde meine Beste geben, alles was ich kann.
Ja, das will ich hoffen.
Die Situation ist so. Ich habe Probleme immer mit Frauen. Immer Probleme mit den Frauen. Die Frauen sind ein Scheißdreck.
Die sind kein Scheißdreck, aber...
Die Deutschen sagen Scheißdreck, weil die Frauen sind, soll ich sagen, problematisch immer. Für mich ja, weil ich will 5 Jahre keine Kinder haben. Ich will nicht leben mit den Frauen. Ich habe Schnauze voll von den Frauen. Schnauze voll.
Das heißt, du möchtest eigentlich mit Männern sein?
Ja, besser. Habe ich meinen Frieden. Aus mit den Frauen. Frauen immer Katastrophe.
Männer sind auch nicht einfach, ne?
Ja, aber der geht arbeiten, ich gehe arbeiten, der kommt zu Hause, ich komme zu Hause. Wir essen Romantik, wir gehen spazieren und so. Alles so wie Mann und Frauen.
Ja.
Oder der kocht oder ich kocht, ich spiele keine Rolle.
Das heißt, das ist der Ernst?
Ja, ich habe auch einen deutschen Führerschein und so. Vielleicht der fährt oder ich fahre, ich spiele keine Rolle. Ist besser. Ich verzichte mich mit dem Kind 5 Jahre. Ich will keine Frau mit Frau zu tun haben.
Du sprichst jetzt immer von 5 Jahren. Das heißt, für dich gibt es das Limit von 5 Jahren. Ich habe aber überhaupt keinen Bock, mit meinen Freunden Probleme zu haben, weil du nach 5 Jahren Tschüss sagst.
Ja, aber willst du probieren?
Wenn du schon von... Was meinst du, willst du probieren?
Willst du probieren? Schauen, ich gebe meine Beste. Und dann kannst du erzählen, deine Freundschaft, der ist so gut.
Du sprichst von Sex, oder?
Ja, Sex. Kann man, du kannst probieren, man, das ist selbstverständlich.
Nee.
Warum? Hast du Angst?
Nee, ich habe überhaupt keine Angst, aber...
Einfach gehst du in Proben.
Du bist jung, du bist attraktiv, du bist nett, aber...
Ich zeig dir meine Maschine.
Nee, ich tu das nicht.
Meine Maschine
kann... Ich tu das nicht, ich hab Philipp.
Philipp ist so schwach. Ich bin stark, voll Energie, voll Power.
Philipp ist voll Energie. Philipp ist zierlich. Ja, das ist wahr.
Wir zwei, in guter Stimmung, wir sind Paar.
Yeah. Unfortunately, of course, we do not have time to show all, but who is interested will always be welcome to watch it. Of course, in this, what I would say was more intervention in actually media and social life, working with these young people and their families. Only in these 3 or 4 years we have been together from time to time. In media, actually this small portion of Roma question started being discussed, and a certain solidarity was expressed, and then after 4 years Kenedi became a big media star. It ended when the film was shown on a festival. International jury was giving awards, and the president was famous actor and director Fredriksson, who is working with Lars von Trier. So when he proclaimed, he said, Kenedi Hasani is the best Serbian actor, 5,000 euros, come to get it. Kenedi came proudly, and hundreds of professional actors start shouting, he's not an actor, he's a gypsy, he's Zigoiner, and so on. And this Fredriksson said, okay, I'm from Sweden, I know that many Serbs have been actually called with names like gypsy, but for us it is a compliment because they are full of full of energy, full of vitality, and full of humor. So he is one of yours. And Kenedi came, calmed them down, and then got offer from that Fredriksson. He said, look, I'm working with Lars von Trier, they spoke German. With Lars von Trier, we are making a new film on Iceland, and we need someone for the role of North African boy. Do you speak French or Italian? And Kenedi said, yes, I do speak Italian. Okay, Fredriksson said, come with me, I will call Lars, and we are going to Iceland. And Kenedi said to him, Iceland? It's stupid. Why to film there? It's a cold country. When you have any project in Italy, then you should call me. Tell this Lars that he is out of his mind to drag the... Okay. Anyhow, you can imagine that actually this conversation was live broadcasted on television, and he was then next day interviewed and filmed. So out of a desperate situation in which still Roma are, I have a feeling that that ethnic group, as we all know, is one of the actually emerging and big nation in Europe, and I have a feeling that they are now in a stage like Afro-Americans have been just in the beginning of organizing of civil rights movement. So I think that in not more than 10-15 years, we will have outstanding intellectuals and artists from Roma community, and I think that actually Europe will search the outstanding people from that ethnic group to bridge the communication gaps with the new emerging countries in the world. And for the end, just to tell you my recent meeting with Kenedi Hasani, 2 months ago, he called me from the French city Mulhouse, that is on the border to Germany, near Freiburg. He said, look, Zelimir, I got finally, after being asylum seeker in Hungary, I got European passport, and I am now sitting in France, and I could bring also some of my family members there. And I again did not believe him, so when I was in Germany, I went to see him. He is really married to a woman with the French passport, and she's a cook, so she made us a nice French dinner. And he speaks good, actually, Hungarian language, which he learned while being waiting for asylum. He has a son, and he gave the son name Attila Žilnik Hasani. And he said the son might be a filmmaker in 20 years. So that is how the things are going on.